that long kind of know my story. But for some of you who don't, the first time I ever stepped foot into the Capitol was to talk to my own state legislators about in-state tuition. And it was through this advocating for what is now ASSET that I was inspired to run for office. So in a sense, this legislation changed my life. And it will most certainly change the lives of young, aspiring citizens in our state. Hundreds of people have come through here to plead the case for ASSET. More importantly, thousands have worked outside of this Capitol to educate their friends and their neighbors. To be sure that all Coloradans know, ASSET stands to raise millions of dollars in additional tuition revenue for our financially strapped colleges and universities. This piece of legislation is a long-term recovery plan that we are charged with enacting. College and universities all across the state have sent letters and resolutions in support of this legislation. All but the colleges and universities in your communities are in support of this. Chambers of Commerce, the governor, and even the Colorado Forum have sent a clear message to each of us today: pass ASSET. All these folks have done their work outside the Capitol, and now it's time for us to do ours.
And what is amazing is the other kids like Flavio that I've worked with that are in this situation, they are the most resilient, the most courageous, the most grateful, the most independent, the most thoughtful. They are the most American kids that I've ever worked with. And why? Because they knew actually what Thomas Paine said in Common Sense, which is, that which we obtain too cheaply, we esteem too lightly. My kids in my house will grow up with the expectation that they're going to go to college. They'd have to fight like crazy to not go to college. These kids are kids who grew up knowing they were going to have to fight for every opportunity they were ever going to get, are the single most grateful population of kids I've ever taught or worked with or stood on a graduation stage next to. Because they are not driven by the belief that opportunity is owed to them. They are driven by the hope that opportunity is open to them. That's all that they've asked. That opportunity is open in a way that they can have a chance to give back the way that Flavio will. And so to Ulysses and Alejandra and Jose and Juan and to Flavio, to all those kids who, through their courage, have carried the struggle and have kept the faith for 13 years while you waited on us, I want to say thank you. And I want to say that the doors now are open. I ask for an aye vote on Senate Bill 33.